At the beginning of episode 5, we see a group of mercenaries. They are on a mission to escort some goods to Tianshui City. Their journey is only halfway done when suddenly they notice a young man standing confused in the middle of the road. That young man is Wang Lin. Seeing this, the leader of the escort group orders one of his men named Yang Sen to go and ask what Wang Lin is doing in such a deserted place. Without wasting time, Yang Sen walks toward him and asks the question directly. After being asked, Wang Lin explains. He says he is also traveling to Tianshui City, but he got lost because his travel map had some problems, and now he doesn't know which road to take. Fearing this, the group kindly offers to let Wang Lin travel with them, since their destination is the same city. Without hesitation, Wang Lin accepts this valuable offer, and he climbs onto the cargo carriage as instructed. During the journey, Wang Lin secretly checks a talisman, the same talisman he obtained years ago from Elder Sundazu's storage bag. This talisman turns out to be a rare treasure, one that was refined through sacrifice. It is also a magical weapon containing the power of a single strike from a cultivator at the core formation stage. Besides checking the talisman, Wang Lin also consults Abasitanen about his cultivation progress, because until now, he still hasn't succeeded in breaking through to the foundation establishment stage. Hearing this problem, Abasitanen gives him a ruthless suggestion. He tells Wang Lin if he wants to succeed, he should seize the foundation from someone else who has already achieved it. After some time, night finally arrives. Wang Lin and the group traveling with him decide to rest and spend the night at a temporary stop before continuing their journey the next day. While resting, Wang Lin is introduced to a middle-aged man named Xian Ni. He is known as an extraordinary person, very knowledgeable, very experienced, and he also has the ability to predict someone's future. That night, Xian Ni demonstrates his fortune-telling ability, but suddenly his expression changes because he sees a terrifying vision. According to his prediction, the escort group will soon face a deadly disaster. Seeing this future, Xian Ni becomes extremely panicked because it means danger is coming very soon. Curious, he then tries to read Wang Lin's future, wondering if Wang Lin will suffer the same fate. But to his complete shock, he cannot see anything. Wang Lin's future is unreadable, which also means Xian Ni's prediction ability is not strong enough to comprehend him. Not long after, while Wang Lin and several others are still talking, suddenly, a loud disturbance breaks the silence. It signals that their group is under attack, and it turns out one of their members has already been killed by enemies, who are none other than a group of bandits trying to steal the valuable goods they are escorting. At that moment, the bandits demand that Liu San and his men immediately hand over the 500-year ginseng. But unfortunately, Liu San refuses. Instead, he chooses to avenge his fallen companion. Because of his refusal, the bandit leader finally steps forward and begins threatening Liu San and the others. He makes it clear if they do not surrender the precious ginseng, then all of them will return to Tianshui City, only in name. In other words, they will not survive. At the same time, Wang Lin tries to sense who exactly is threatening them, and he is shocked because he finally realizes the leader of the bandits is actually his old friend, Zhang Hu. On the other side, the warning given by Zhang Hu makes Xian Ni advise Liu San to just give the ginseng to the bandits, because Xian Ni understands their enemy is a cultivator, a person walking the path of immortality, someone whose power is far beyond ordinary humans like them. Even though it hurts, Liu San finally agrees to hand over the ginseng, but suddenly, just before the box reaches the enemy, Wang Lin snatches it away. This action instantly angers the bandit group. They immediately attack Wang Lin to take it back, but Wang Lin's strength is far higher than theirs, so in just a moment, their attacks are completely crushed, and everyone finally realizes Wang Lin is also a cultivator, a seeker of immortality. After defeating the bandits and taking back the ginseng, Wang Lin calls out. He asks Zhang Hu to show himself. Soon, Zhang Hu finally comes out from hiding, and his arrival is welcomed by his subordinates. After appearing in front of Wang Lin, Zhang Hu once again gives a warning. He tells Wang Lin to hand over the box before he is forced to act violently. At that moment, Wang Lin notices something strange. Zhang Hu does not recognize him at all. Realizing this, Wang Lin decides to hand over the ginseng box. This makes Zhang Hu satisfied, and he orders Wang Lin and the others to leave the area immediately. But before they can leave, suddenly, someone arrives. Bai Zan. His presence instantly fills the area with fear. His cultivation is detected at Qi condensation level 15. This alone is enough to terrify everyone in Liu San's group, and the fear grows even more when they see how Bai Zan kills the bandits and absorbs their energy. At that moment, Bai Zan also says, He wants Wang Lin's fresh blood so he can increase his cultivation faster. Hearing this, Zhang Hu pretends to volunteer, offering to help capture Wang Lin. But unexpectedly, Bai Zhan sees through his act. He realizes Zhang Hu actually wants to help Wang Lin escape. This makes Bai Zhan furious. He brutally attacks Zhang Hu, causing him intense pain. Seeing his friend in danger, Wang Lin finally acts. He immediately engages in battle against Bai Zhan. After a fierce fight, Wang Lin wins. Then he approaches Zhang Hu, who is finally freed from the control poison planted inside his body by Bai Zhan. But suddenly, everyone is shocked because Zhang Hu decides to kill all members of Liu Sun's group just to make sure the events of tonight remain secret. Fortunately, Wang Lin stops him. Instead, he offers another solution. He erases the memories of everyone in Liu Sun's group about what happened that night. After that, Wang Lin and Zhang Hu leave together to find a safer place. There, they begin remembering the past and sharing their life stories since the time they separated at Hengyu Sect. After a long conversation, Wang Lin reveals his next goal. He needs to find a suitable place to train his newly obtained flying sword. Finally, he invites Zhang Hu to go with him to Tengjia City because it feels safe enough to hide from their enemies, especially now they have become wanted fugitives after killing Bai Zhan. When they arrive at Tengjia City, they are briefly shocked by the appearance of a powerful figure from the Xian sect. That person's strength is already at the foundation establishment stage. After learning more, they discover people from the Xian sect are known to be extremely cruel, so Zhang Hu warns Wang Lin to be careful and avoid any conflict with them. Sometime later, Wang Lin arrives at an inn and immediately he begins training his flying sword so he can control it as soon as possible. But the sword is difficult to tame, so once again, Wang Lin asks Abba Situnen for guidance. At that time, Abba Situnen tells Wang Lin about a special technique, a blood refinement method, so the treasure weapon can be controlled much faster. Meanwhile, in another place, Elder Tang receives a visitor, a man named Jimo. He comes to ask for help to solve his problem, and that problem is revenge for the death of baby Zhang. As payment, Jimo offers a valuable treasure, a primordial infant-class weapon, in exchange for the help of the Tang territory ruler, who is assisted by his grandson, Tang Li. After discussing the matter, Tang Li finally agrees to help Jimo take revenge. But before that, he shows his strength by splitting the sky above them. The busy atmosphere of Tengjia City, filled with merchants and buyers, opens the story of episode 6. Inside one shop, Zhang Hu is seen trying to sell a very rare treasure, a 1,000-year blood ginseng. The item is extremely valuable, but the shop owner offers only 250 low-grade spirit stones, a very cheap price. Using some clever market bargaining tricks, Zhang Hu pretends to leave the shop, hoping to be called back with a better offer. In the end, he still doesn't sell the blood ginseng, but suddenly he is stopped by 2 masked men. Their arrival shocks Zhang Hu because without warning, they attack him using dangerous sword techniques. Even though Zhang Hu warns them that the Tang clan is forbidden from causing trouble inside Tengjia City, the men in yellow robes completely ignore the rules. They don't even give him a chance to escape. Instead, they trap him inside a formation that forces his body to collapse onto the ground. It turns out he is suspected of being involved in Bai Zhan's death, and this has triggered the anger of the Tang clan, who controls Tengjia City. Now, Zhang Hu runs desperately while being chased by many enemies. Sword attacks keep coming from every direction. Fortunately, his movement skills are agile, allowing him to avoid serious injuries, until finally he is cornered in front of a large gate. And then the enemy leader reveals himself with a face full of hatred. Yes, it is Tang Li, the man who was paid to avenge Bai Zhan's death. Meanwhile, at the same time, Wang Lin is still meditating, focused on restoring his flying sword's power. After finally taming the sword and holding it tightly, the quiet atmosphere suddenly turns chaotic because a group of people break into his room. They are disciples from Tengjia. Wang Lin quickly realizes his life is in danger, so he immediately escapes through the window. But he still doesn't know that they want to kill him because he once killed Bai Zhan, who was a respected figure in this city. As a result, Wang Lin runs through the crowded streets, trying to find a way to escape his pursuers. But then he discovers there is a rule in this city: flying swords are forbidden. Because of this, he becomes trapped inside the city's protective formation. Surrounded and under pressure, Wang Lin thinks about Zhang Hu, believing his friend is still alive somewhere in the city. But finding him will not be easy because more enemies keep appearing and they are difficult to defeat, even with his full strength. Then Tang Li finally appears. His sharp gaze immediately shocks Wang Lin. Even more frightening, Tang Li can clearly see Wang Lin's cultivation level. Without hesitation, he launches an extremely powerful attack, and then the truth is revealed. Wang Lin is told that the friend he has been searching for has already been brutally killed by Tang Li. In an instant, Wang Lin's anger explodes because he feels the enemy before him has no conscience at all. So without holding back, Wang Lin launches his newly refined green flying sword toward Tang Li, but the attack is blocked easily. It turns out Wang Lin's sword can never reach its full power as long as its owner is still in the low qi condensation stage. But Wang Lin is not out of ideas. He quickly uses the objects around him to distract and trouble Tang Li. The moment the enemy's focus breaks, Wang Lin takes that chance and escapes at lightning speed, using a magical talisman that allows him to run incredibly fast. However, Tang Li and his subordinates have no intention of letting him escape. They begin chasing him, flying across rooftops, through the buildings of Tangjia City. Facing many enemies alone makes Wang Lin more and more exhausted, especially when Tang Li keeps launching dangerous sword attacks. Even so, Wang Lin manages to avoid them, but the power of his talisman is slowly running out. Then a rain of swords controlled by Tang Li triggers a massive explosion, destroying many buildings around them. Naturally, Tang Li believes Wang Lin must be dead because this inherited technique from his family has never failed to kill an enemy. But to his surprise, Wang Lin is still alive, standing behind the ruins completely unharmed while holding a lantern. It turns out the lanterns placed around the city are part of a secret formation, protecting Tangjia from all directions. After discovering this secret, Wang Lin moves quickly, destroying the lanterns one by one, so he can weaken Tang Li's advantage. Meanwhile, inside the palace, Elder Tang is feeling uneasy. He keeps thinking about Tang Li, who has not yet returned from his mission to kill Wang Lin. One of his aides becomes worried because so much time has already passed without results. But Elder Tang still believes in Tang Li's strength, especially after hearing that Wang Lin's cultivation is only qi condensation level, while Tang Li has already reached foundation establishment, which means defeating Wang Lin should be easy. Back in Tangjia City, Wang Lin continues running, trying to avoid Tang Li's attacks, which are becoming more terrifying. Finally, Tang Li loses patience and uses a lightning talisman to stop Wang Lin's movement. From above, Wang Lin sees Tang Li concentrating while forming a massive formation. The sky and earth begin to tremble. Wang Lin immediately realizes the situation is becoming extremely dangerous. With a formation this large, death is almost certain because his cultivation level is still too low. But this is Wang Lin, and he still has another secret, a teleportation talisman, one that can send him to another location. Seeing his attack fail, Tang Li laughs. He becomes even more interested in Wang Lin, and now he wants that teleportation talisman for himself. On the other side, after escaping death, Wang Lin feels confused because Tang Li secretly possesses a treasure usually owned by cultivators at the nascent soul stage. At that moment, Wang Lin's combat ability suddenly increases, thanks to the help from Abasitunan inside the spiritual treasure. But Abasitunan honestly says he cannot help much longer because the heavenly sword used by Tang Li has already injured him. So now Wang Lin has no choice but to rely on his own strength. He struggles, blocking every attack from Tang Li until finally, Wang Lin throws his sword. It cuts across Tang Li's cheek, and immediately after, he uses the heart mirror technique to seal the mystical gold. The wound on Tang Li's face makes him completely furious. His anger explodes. Once again, he summons his giant heavenly sword and smashes it toward Wang Lin, but Wang Lin escapes, using teleportation. 3 days later, Wang Lin continues flying farther and farther away while thinking about his spiritual liquid, which has already been completely used up. Meanwhile, Abasitunan is also growing weaker because his nascent soul energy has been exhausted, helping Wang Lin fight Tang Li. To help his senior survive, Wang Lin uses his inner vision to observe a strange situation inside the Nizang Forest, also known as the Forest of Corrupted Illness. This place is located 500 miles south of Tangjia City. The entire forest is covered with dirty, corrupted qi energy. There are many poisonous creatures and deadly blue vines growing wildly everywhere. Meanwhile, Tang Li remembers something important from Elder Tang. He was told that no one below the core formation stage could safely enter this forest. But because Tang Li possesses a nascent soul class treasure, he ignores his grandfather's warning and stubbornly enters the Nizang Forest. At the same time, Wang Lin, who already stepped into the forest earlier, is suddenly shocked as blue vines appear from every direction. They wrap tightly around his body, so tight he cannot move at all. Inside the spiritual space, Abasitunan panics. He quickly tells Wang Lin to calm his mind and deal with the blue vines without using spiritual energy. Then suddenly, Wang Lin succeeds in breaking free from the vines. But Abasitunan admits something. His strength is reaching its limit. The teleportation power can no longer be used for long. Even so, Wang Lin refuses to rely completely on his senior. He decides to face his enemy with his own strength. Then, the story shifts to a flashback. 10 years ago, a man named Zhao Guo, a rogue cultivator, at the 10th level of Qi condensation, is surrounded by many enemies. Suddenly, a young boy blocks his path. That boy is Tang Li in his childhood. It turns out young Tang Li wants to steal a family treasure from Zhao Guo. As a low-level cultivator, Zhao Guo feels deep injustice, being bullied by Tang Li and his followers. But without mercy, Tang Li kills him, and something unexpected happens. Zhao Guo's blood fuses with the treasure. After obtaining it, Tang Li flies back to meet his grandfather. Since childhood, Tang Li has always been spoiled because his grandfather is the ruler of Tang City. He is used to getting anything he wants. This upbringing shapes his character into someone who will use any method to achieve his goals. His grandfather even promises that all treasures in the world would belong to Tang Li. Because of this, greed and ambition grow deep inside his heart as he grows older. After seeing this past, the story returns to the present 10 years later. Now, adult Tang Li continues chasing Wang Lin all the way into the dangerous Mizang forest. As he moves deeper into the forest, he feels something strange. He cannot sense even a trace of Wang Lin's spiritual presence. Eventually, Tang Li arrives in front of a massive ancient tree, and he notices blood traces on the ground. With arrogance, he declares he will destroy the entire forest to capture Wang Lin. Then, he releases his sky-splitting treasure sword, but without him realizing, all the blue vines react instantly to the surge of spiritual energy. The vines shoot toward him at lightning speed, wrapping around his body from all directions. Hidden behind the trees, Wang Lin watches calmly, because it seems Tang Li has finally fallen into his trap. Tang Li does not give up so easily. He struggles fighting back against the blue vines. Even without his treasure sword, he still tries to survive using a golden shield treasure that can only protect one side of his body. Wang Lin sees the perfect opportunity. Without hesitation, he launches his green flying sword straight toward Tang Li, who is still wrapped by the vines. A huge explosion happens. Tang Li's shield shatters and he suffers serious injuries, but hatred forces him to stand up again. He swears he will make Wang Lin experience every pain in this world. He wants to tear out Wang Lin's soul and refine it until death. Meanwhile, Wang Lin quickly escapes while asking about Abasitunan's condition. Abasitunan reassures him, saying he is still holding on, but he warns Wang Lin must be extremely careful because Tang Li's cultivation is hundreds, even thousands of times higher. And since childhood, Tang Li has never experienced hardship. Without the green flying sword, Wang Lin would have already lost. Abasitunan then says, if Wang Lin can destroy the heart mirror mystic gold treasure that protects Tang Li, only then can he truly kill him. While running, Wang Lin remains calm, fearless. He begins planning his next strategy to trap Tang Li again. On the other side, Tang Li, filled with rage, attacks wildly, destroying everything in the forest. Even Abasitunan cannot guess what Wang Lin is planning, until finally Wang Lin stops at a certain location and Tang Li finds him. They face each other again, but suddenly Tang Li senses a hidden attack. He immediately releases another treasure, a giant golden bell protecting his body from the green sword. Once again, he launches his sky-splitting treasure sword, now enhanced with blood magic. The attack rushes toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin quickly activates formation treasures and explosive talismans to protect himself, but because his strength is still lower, he chooses to retreat again. Tang Li then releases his sword at maximum power, but Wang Lin has already moved position. This makes Tang Li careless. He does not realize he is now standing right in front of a deep, dark cliff filled with foul, rotten gas. From the darkness, a ferocious zombie suddenly rushes out toward Tang Li. And yes, this was also part of Wang Lin's plan, a trap he prepared earlier. The zombie releases a green pill. Abasitunan explains this is demonic cultivation, an evil path. The green pill is not ordinary. It contains terrifying explosive power. So Abasitunan warns Wang Lin to keep his distance before setting another trap to avoid the explosion. Now, Tang Li is the one being chased by the ferocious green pill zombie. The zombie already has human-like awareness. It can react to enemies. But what surprises Abasitunan is something else. How did Wang Lin know there was a zombie here? The truth is, while escaping, Wang Lin kept sensing a strange aura, and the deeper he went, the fewer blue vines appeared. So he concluded there must be a powerful creature hidden inside something even the vines feared. That is why he created this plan to lure Tang Li into this location. And it worked. Now, Tang Li is busy dealing with a zombie. He forgets to chase Wang Lin, but before he can recover, Wang Lin attacks again from behind with a green flying sword. The blade cuts across Tang Li's shoulder. Tang Li feels dizzy, confused, because traps keep appearing one after another. Behind him, a terrifying zombie. In front of him, holding the green flying sword ready to take his life. Confusing, right? For Tang Li, if he moves forward, he gets hit. If he retreats, he still gets hit. In this desperate situation, Tang Li chooses to fight with everything he has. A life and death battle between flying swords. Whoever attacks faster will win. Even though Abba Situnan warns him, Wang Lin still prepares to strike because this is Wang Lin. He never stops, even in impossible situations. Finally, Tang Li collapses unconscious. Wang Lin quickly stores his body inside his storage ring. At that moment, a massive explosion and raging flames spread everywhere. The ferocious zombie returns, searching for Tang Li. After the intense battle, Wang Lin finally rests. He meditates on a quiet hillside under warm sunlight. Meanwhile, Abba Situnan is still shocked by what just happened. His disciple was too reckless. If Abba Situnan had been even slightly late with teleportation, Wang Lin would have died. But according to Wang Lin, only by taking such a risk could he kill Tang Li. Before Tang Li recovered his spiritual power, even Abba Situnan himself would not dare take such a risk. He feels deep admiration for Wang Lin's courage. Now, with Tang Li's body, Wang Lin can seize his foundation establishment to strengthen his own cultivation. Abba Situnan thinks this is an excellent opportunity. Tang Li's talent and cultivation level were extremely high at such a young age, a true genius. If Wang Lin absorbs it, his power will increase dramatically in a short time. During the process of seizing Tang Li's cultivation, Tang Li's soul struggles violently. It reacts with his personal token, which is connected to his grandfather's token. At that exact moment, his grandfather senses that his grandson is in danger. The old man becomes furious. He immediately tries to locate him. Through the token, he sees Wang Lin stealing Tang Li's cultivation. The grandfather warns if Wang Lin releases Tang Li, his life will be spared. But this is Wang Lin. He cannot forget the death of his friend Zhang Hu, so he ignores all the threats. In the end, Tang Li dies at Wang Lin's hands, and his cultivation is successfully absorbed. 3 years pass since that event. Wang Lin finally comes out of his meditation. Following Abba Situnan's guidance, he has mastered techniques to enter the realm of death and a heart technique to locate extreme yin land. After reviewing everything he learned, Wang Lin plans to find a suitable place for cultivation. Meanwhile, Abba Situnan, who exhausted his primordial soul energy while saving Wang Lin, falls into a deep sleep. Wang Lin promises he will return and refine pills to heal his master. Then the story shifts to a deep forest. There, a coffin emits purple energy. From inside, a dark figure slowly emerges. Someone who has slept for hundreds of years, now awakened. His name Darren, the Purple Lord, a flying zombie at the middle stage of nascent soul. Yes, the same type of zombie that once chased Tang Li, but this one is far stronger, and it can fly. Terrifying, right? The moment it awakens, it immediately begins chasing someone filled with hatred. At the same time, Wang Lin, flying above the forest, feels an extremely dense yin energy. He follows the direction of that energy and discovers a strange land filled with ruins and death. When he arrives, he sees people living normally. Everything looks peaceful, but suddenly something strange happens. When Wang Lin touches a horse, the horse disappears like paper burning into ashes. This entire region is covered with red energy, violence everywhere. Armored cavalry begins slaughtering the villagers. Everyone dies in a single night. This land was formed from tens of millions of deaths, creating an extremely powerful yin ground. And finally, Wang Lin realizes he has found the perfect place for cultivation. Wang Lin quickly sits down and begins his meditation to cultivate. Following the manual he learned before, he uses small stones to create a large formation. This formation is called the Confusion Formation. Its purpose is to protect him from any outside enemies while he is cultivating. After finishing the formation, Wang Lin finally starts practicing the technique to enter the realm of the dead. This technique is divided into 9 levels. Every 3 levels form one stage of cultivation, but the most important part is breaking through 3 major points inside the body: the Dantian, the Sea of Qi, Jihai, and the Zuziao point. These 3 points are aligned vertically inside the body. This cultivation process is called body point breakthrough. The success rate depends heavily on cultivating in a place with extremely strong yin energy. If the breakthrough succeeds in a short time, a cold spiritual core called Handan will start to condense, and once Handan appears, the spiritual energy inside the body will slowly transform into cold yin power. Eventually, 3 Handan will merge together, and that becomes the core formation stage, also known as Jidan. While Wang Lin is cultivating, from behind the trees, suddenly, a strange young man appears. His body is bluish, almost like an avatar. His cultivation level is already at the late foundation stage, but he has no idea that a large formation has already been set up around this place. Curious, the blue-skinned youth tries to touch one of the floating stones. Instantly, the formation activates. Lightning energy flows from one stone to another, creating a protective barrier that prevents him from approaching Wang Lin. One by one, the stones explode when he touches them. This only makes him more angry, so he picks up a huge rock and throws it toward Wang Lin's meditation spot. Wang Lin feels disturbed. Immediately, he releases his green flying sword to attack the blue youth. But even after 2 attacks, the blue youth does not fall. Instead, he uses talisman magic to heal himself. In just a moment, blue light surrounds his body. His wounds close instantly, without leaving any scars. This makes Wang Lin very curious. He asks politely, "Who are you? Please leave, and do not disturb my cultivation." But the blue youth can't really speak properly. He only uses simple gestures, almost like Tarzan-style body language. Wang Lin, who hates wasting time, immediately gives a warning. Anyone who refuses to listen will show no mercy. The blue youth then walks toward a stone building nearby, as if trying to show something. With his sharp mind, Wang Lin quickly understands the youth is interested in the floating stone formation. The youth nods repeatedly while trying to lift a large stone, as if confirming Wang Lin's guess. But then, Wang Lin notices the yellow talismans attached all over his body. It feels very strange. Suddenly, the blue youth walks closer while holding a stone, and then he throws out a golden pearl. This pearl is actually a magic weapon called Thousand Illusion Transformation. Its power is already at the core formation level. In the next second, an illusion of Wang Lin himself appears in front of him. Only then, Wang Lin realizes it is illusion magic. He immediately destroys the illusion pearl. But for a brief moment, he experiences the sensation of reaching the nascent soul realm. Wang Lin is shocked. The effect is unbelievably real. The more energy that enters the pearl, the more realistic the illusion becomes. Inside his mind, Wang Lin already has a plan. This illusion weapon would be perfect to scare enemies. However, the strange blue youth makes him feel uneasy. There is a chance his illusion pearl could interfere with Wang Lin's stone formation, so Wang Lin decides to find another place to cultivate. Soon, he discovers a new location, near a deep ravine where the yin energy is far stronger than before. But Wang Lin still does not realize how powerful his spiritual strength has already become. Because of several strange changes in the extreme yin energy, and also constant erosion, Wang Lin's cultivation has already begun to evolve toward an extreme realm. The reason for this is the technique of entering the realm of the dead. This method is extremely rare. Very few people can ever master it. But once someone succeeds, they can reach an unbelievably powerful spiritual domain. As Wang Lin breaks through into the extreme yin realm, the surrounding area starts freezing. Everything nearby turns into ice. Wang Lin can feel the difficulty of progressing further is becoming much higher. He truly needs a location with high-quality extreme yin energy. Meanwhile, in another place, the purple zombie is watching from above. He observes the young zombie who once chased Slinger. As the master, the purple zombie orders him to search for his nascent soul, because once he devours it, he will finally gain freedom. And in return, he promises to help the young zombie transform into a demonic zombie. Back to Wang Lin. After wandering for a long time, he finally discovers an abandoned area filled with dense yin energy. But then, he senses something familiar. The blue-skinned youth is still following him from behind. Immediately, Wang Lin releases his green flying sword. He hates being followed. It irritates him very much. The blue youth starts gesturing again. Through his movements, Wang Lin understands he is being invited to follow him. After a brief hesitation, Wang Lin agrees. Soon, they arrive at a strange location, covered with massive bones. The blue youth jumps onto a tall stone structure and activates one formation point. Then, he moves to another tower and activates another point. One by one, multiple formation points connect together, reaching toward the sky. After the formation is complete, the blue youth begins chanting mysterious spells. Suddenly, Wang Lin feels the giant stone statue nearby seems to come alive. Without hesitation, Wang Lin flies to the top of the statue. Using his treasure, he scans the area. And then he realizes something shocking. This place is an extreme yin land, not just ordinary, but level 10 extreme yin, the highest quality possible. 5 days later, Wang Lin successfully completes level 5 of the Realm of the Dead technique. But suddenly, the sky turns dark. Black clouds gather. From inside the clouds, a coffin appears. It flies directly toward Wang Lin and the blue youth. The blue youth reacts instantly. He activates a teleportation formation and escapes. Inside a temple, Wang Lin notices the statue in front of him looks alive. He immediately attacks with his flying sword. But then an old voice appears, telling him not to act impulsively and saying, he has no bad intentions. A strange figure appears, a man with an old face, but the body of a child. He wears an ancient stone lock. The blue youth blocks Wang Lin, preventing him from attacking. This old man is actually Wu Yu's nascent soul, at the early nascent soul stage. And the truth is revealed, he is the master of the purple zombie outside. He is also the only surviving ancestor of the Yin zombie sect. In this sect, every disciple must find a corpse. That corpse that will be refined into a zombie puppet. As the cultivator grows stronger, their zombie puppet also becomes stronger. Wang Lin quickly understands the zombie puppet betrayed its master. 300 years ago, the ancestor brought the zombie here, but the corpse absorbed too much cold yin energy and broke free from control. It seriously injured its master. The young zombie outside was actually his physical body back then. It had already been refined, so it gained intelligence like a human. Seeing Wang Lin's strength, the ancestor asks for help. He says he can open a teleportation portal to the headquarters of the Yin zombie sect, and he can send Wang Lin there. But Wang Lin remains cautious. He asks, why don't you go yourself? The ancestor explains he cannot move more than 100 miles away from his zombie body, and if his nascent soul forces itself to act, it will be destroyed. So he requests, when Wang Lin reaches the sect, he must find someone named Ye Zizai, a junior, who can help him. The ancestor also knows from the blue youth that Wang Lin is cultivating with cold yin energy. He reveals inside the Yin zombie sect, there is a special cultivation place with extremely pure yin land, perfect for Wang Lin. Without wasting time, the ancestor opens the teleportation formation and leaves the choice to Wang Lin, go or not. Wang Lin thinks carefully. The zombie puppet outside is extremely dangerous. If he stays here and the zombie breaks in, his life will be in danger. So finally, Wang Lin makes his decision. So guys, that's it for today's video. Guys, how did you like today's video? Please tell me in the comments below. And the next part will come very soon. Guys, the upcoming episodes are going to be even more interesting. So if you still haven't subscribed, then make sure to subscribe. All right, guys, see you in the next video.